So we just seen a major crypto crash over the weekend that got ETH to dump as low as $2,100, leading the altcoin market into a bloodbath. And this was by far the worst collapse in terms of liquidations we've seen since the FTX collapse, which was worse than the FTX collapse itself. We've seen 2.2 billion was liquidated, with over 700 traders liquidated, or 700,000 traders liquidated, worse than the FTX collapse, which was only 1.6 billion. So usually what this means, or what this indicates in the market when we see this kind of collapses, liquidations that happen, usually they do mark the bottom. So is this actually the bottom? What should we do from here? What should we expect from here in the market? This is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Now here, guys, you can see that unfortunately usually we see Ethereum bouncing or rallying and breaking out usually every February. We see that playing out, but now when we're looking at what happened back in 2021 in February, or around the end of February, we've seen a major retracement on ETH here around the end of February, which was a 33% drop on Ethereum. And now we started this February with a 25% drop. It's not as astronomical, and now we're seeing it recovering a lot of ground with only 2% drop, and that shows a lot of strength and make you wonder if this is the bottom. Now there are a few things that are showing us that this is the bottom, and we might actually have put the low of the year for altcoins, and we might actually finally start to see this altcoin season, even though a lot of people might feel that is not the case, or even though a lot of people might want to hate me for saying that the bull market is still ongoing, that we're going to have a major altcoin season. But they are not to be blamed, because if you're new to the space and you see red, it does affect your mentality and does affect your feelings. When you see a lot of red in the market, it does get a lot of people shaking out, and this is what this is about. The market is made to get most of the people wrecked and get most of the people losing money. As you can see here, guys, $2.2 billion, you know how much that is, that of people getting liquidated. Liquidations are basically money lost forever, and it's not even about spot trading. When you're holding a spot bag and or on your wallets, you're not getting liquidated, you're just seeing a drop down or a drawdown. But liquidations are actually lost money forever. 700,000 traders. This usually historically does mark bottoms. We see this even bigger than FTX. Now recently we've seen Eric Trump saying that, in my opinion, it's a great time to add ETH as basically one of the largest, most influential people right now in the space, the Trump family, since they launched the Memecoin, and as well since there is a lot of talks around cryptocurrency reserves. This got a lot of people bullish, and shout out to the Brett on 8 OG Army here for being here. And the thing is, it got the market rallying, and when we've seen that, we've seen ETH actually recovering a lot of lost grounds right after that tweet here from Eric Trump, which suggests that ETH is probably going to be part of the reserves, or the US reserves. And since then as well, the Bitcoin dominance is going down, which signals as well we might have put in the high for that Bitcoin dominance at 64%. Now there is still one thing that we really need to keep in mind for a real major altcoin season. It is the rate cuts, and most likely we're going to see those happening. As we see in the Bank of Canada, interest rates, cuts through interest rates, and trying to offset the US tariff impacts, which basically what started the whole thing before, or what started the drop. And we could actually see this play a big role on the Fed's decisions on starting to cut rates, which basically this is exactly what we need for altcoins to start rallying, to start seeing those major gains like back in the days, like back in 2021 and 2017. Even though 2017 still had a lot of rates, but it was around 2.5%, while today we have 4.5%. So we don't need really the rates to drop to zero, but at least to 2017 levels, around 2.5%. So this pretty much could happen during this year, and that means also we're still on track for a major altcoin season. Now, we're seeing the market overall reacting very well since it started recovering. Since we've seen Eric Trump tweeting here, we started seeing it recovering, and you can see here, guys, for yourself how strong or how important it is to the market. We need it to actually start moving up. That's why it is very important to keep an eye on Ethereum here. And now what we're seeing basically is altcoins started to recover now. We have Pepe here, went as low as $3.3 billion market cap. This is crazy. This is basically the levels that it was at around August of 2024. This is when Germany was selling, and we've seen this also this crash here on Pepe. But we can see that the pain here is stronger because basically a lot of strong meme coins have been selling off in this straight down line, and it does cause a lot of fear now in the market. Now, honestly, I do think we're still heading toward a major altcoin season, and meme coins are not going anywhere. They're going to still be the leaders. I don't think we're going to see any switch back towards utility coins, because we're seeing it clearly. The retail want the meme coins, and retail is what drives the market, and retail is what drives whales and hedge funds and venture firms to buy up those meme coins to sell them back to retail. So retail is king when it comes to markets, and retail prefer meme coins. So we're going to see those meme coins coming back. Now, as when it comes to Toshi, since recently it got listed on Coinbase, we've seen a major hype and demand around it. Now, I was one of the first people to call this here on YouTube, around $2 to $8 million in its market cap. Now, finally, after a long time, after a year of sideways, basically, or downward price action and selling off and all that, we see finally a major breakout here on Toshi. It's actually showing a lot of strength recently. When it's we've seen this crash, it crashed as low as 280 million, and then it recovered faster, double that. It did a 2x here basically, which is understandably showing a lot of strength here because it just got listed on Coinbase, and it's the first meme coin on the base chain to get listed on Coinbase. So it does bring in a lot of that hype and speculation around its price. So as I said on previous videos dedicated to Toshi, we're gonna see this kind of price action for a while before another leg up. This is very normal. As for Pepe, we're seeing now a major pullback. I do think we're gonna start to slowly gain some ground here for Pepe for its last leg up, like we've seen with Shiba Inu back in the days, as well as our favorite meme coins as well, doing well. Breakout ETH recovering very decently here as well after this major crash, and it's holding very strong here, which shows a lot of strength, which shows how strong this is and how much gains this can make. As soon as we're gonna flip bullish, we're gonna have that kind of momentum playing out on these strong meme coins on ETH as well. Now to come back to, is this the bottom? I do personally think this is pretty much it, and you can see now the weekly candle here. We're gonna have to still wait. Now today is Tuesday, and we're gonna have to wait for how the week is gonna go. So if we close this weekly candle here on 8 like this, so for the new people here, this is called a swing failure pattern, which means the price failed at breaking through major resistance or support, like this one here, the 2200 2300 level, which I remember we started also packing up a lot of ETH here back in the days when it dropped at around 2100. It seems to be that's the actual demand or mega demand for ETH here. Now if we see this major wick here stays the same, or the weekly candle closes this way here, this is going to be very bullish, and we could expect the following weeks to be weeks of green. Now we still need to break above 4K on Ethereum. This is very important to close above it, and as we're seeing a lot of bullish news come up now at the lows of ETH with this wick here, the chances of Ethereum gaining back and breaking 4K are very high. Now you keep in mind as well that when a resistance gets tapped multiple times, it gets weakened, right? So as the sellers that are willing to sell at these levels get exhausted and leave, and they don't have control over the price as much, the price can finally break free above this and go much higher. Now keep in mind, most of the meme coins are related to ETH, so if ETH price goes up, they go up as well, even if they don't have any demand. So it does actually impact the meme coins and coins that are on ETH a lot if we see ETH going from here. So ETH today is at 8,000 or is at 2,800 now, or 3,000, let's say. For it to go to 9,000 here is a 3x. If ETH does 3x, meme coins on ETH are gonna do fantastic, are gonna do major numbers from these levels that we see here today. Most of the meme coins that are on ETH, that's basically what we're waiting for here, is to see it doing this. Now the bottom is most likely in here, and all we're gonna do is wait how this week is gonna unfold. So far we're seeing major recovery on ETH and nothing alarming. Literally we just came back to retest this previous demand zone here on ETH, that now the price just went right in it, right, as you can see here, right in it. This is the second time that we come back there, and this, as for the resistance, which is 4K, it was the third time. So usually resistances break out or get broken after the fourth time. So the next time we see it going back to 4K, you can bet this is it. This is the time we're gonna see this flying, and this is gonna be the major altcoin season. So we want to keep that in mind. Personally, I do think the bottom is in here for ETH and for meme coins and for altcoins. As you can see, they massively depend on what Bitcoin first is doing and ETH. Even though Bitcoin is back at above 100K, altcoins are not showing any sign of strength because of Ethereum. So keep that in mind. And as I just explained, Ethereum now just need a bit of a push up and garner a bit more attention and more investors, as we're seeing with the BlackRock and ETFs now are slowly as well adding up. Now we're seeing the third day, which is the 3rd of February, we're seeing a major inflow of 83 million. It's higher than the previous days. It's probably the highest day so far of inflows on ETFs, and that's understandable because this was a major dip and ETF buyers will not miss it. As usual, the big whales are buying and the spaghetti hands are freaking out. Now this is pretty much the catalyst we're waiting for it to break above 4K, most importantly. And as soon as it does that, this gonna give it a lot of that attention needed from the market to start rallying up, as the market is gonna start to gain more confidence towards ETH and ETH coins. So anyways, guys, hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching today's video till the end, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.